Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to a More Than Hype unboxing and review, and today we'll be taking a look at a pair of Yeezy QNTMs. This pair of shoes compared to the rest of the Yeezy line is unique in that it's the first Yeezy model that's not just for casual wear. In fact, these were made for basketball. And what better time to release the first basketball Yeezy than during All-Star Weekend? In true Kanye fashion, the release was unexpected to say the least. Videos and images quickly started circulating social media of Kanye riding around Chicago in Russian Sherp ATVs giving out free pairs of Yeezy QNTMs. On top of that, you had Adidas athletes like Brandon Ingram wearing them and also getting a pair signed by Kanye, who was sitting courtside. But enough background, let's get into the unboxing, starting with the packaging. Now, while this is a different type of Yeezy, you gotta love the consistency in design and branding. This minimalistic style of the plain brown box, even the font, QNTM representing Quantum on the top, and the usual Boost branding on the side. Let's take a look at the size tag. So in the Yeezy QNTM, I got a size 8.5, and I like the fit. And for those of you who are interested in buying a pair of these, I wear a size 9 in Yeezy 350 V2s, and in Adidas Originals like the Stan Smith, I wear a size 8. The sizing on Yeezys is always weird, so size up or down comparatively. Now, let's take a look at the shoes. First impressions, these have a killer look. Really interesting pair. Truly what I would imagine a Yeezy basketball shoe would look like. They're heavier than your regular Yeezy, and I think that has a lot to do with this huge external heel counter, but definitely the most substantial Yeezy I've seen so far. Let's get both pairs out and take a closer look. A lot going on with the shoe, so let's start with the upper. On the heel, you get this black neoprene material that's very flexible, so you don't get much support here, but the huge 3M heel counter makes up for anything lost. The heel counter is also completely covered in 3M. Some reviewers are mentioning how the upper doesn't line up completely with the heel, and some spotting can be found consistently on the 3M. Honestly, this doesn't bother me too much. I think where this got kind of messed up is this piece of fuse covering the stitching. Depending on where that was applied, I suspect it would have skewed the alignment of the black. It sucks, but not a deal breaker for me. The tongue is made of that same black neoprene material, really giving the shoe that sock-like fit most are accustomed to with Adidas Yeezys. Rope laces and the tips are dipped in a matte paint. Nice touch and goes well with the overall look. Inside the shoe itself, the heel does have some padding to keep your heel secure in the shoe. And a nice surprise, these don't have an ortholite insole. Instead, you get this nice foam insole, which will probably last you a little longer. Yeezy and Adidas branding up top, of course. Next, these see-through mesh side panels have a cool wavy pattern stitched into them, with colors reminiscent of the Yeezy Alien 380s. The see-through mesh reveals the strips of what look like 3M flywire, and you get that on both sides. And everything is brought together at the toe with this cool piece of synthetic suede material here. Design-wise, I really like how this suede piece looks, but the material itself and how it's just glued on, I'm not impressed with. Moving on down to the midsole, you get this lower profile wedge of Boost cushioning inside this semi-translucent wrapping. The wrapping is thicker than what you'd find on other Boost models, which makes this pair feel firmer than other Yeezys. But in a basketball shoe, that's exactly what you'd want, that responsive yet cushioned setup. This heel counter also covers a portion of the Boost, which makes this effect even more noticeable in the heel. Looking from the top of the shoe down, you can see how this side here really juts out around the forefoot, giving you that extra support on lateral movements. And finally, the traction is the tried and true herringbone traction. But interesting to note, this doesn't have that typical stretch web-like design with several cutouts on the outsole. This is solid herringbone with just a cutout at the heel to expose the Boost inside. Having this solid traction would make the shoes more rigid, and also firms up the boost by removing the spaces where the boost would typically compress into. This definitely is a basketball shoe. A quick demo of the 3M before I wrap up here, which also brings to the question the Yeezy Basketball. While it seems like Adidas released the same shoe twice, the Yeezy QNTM and this, the Yeezy Basketball, it was most likely because Adidas knew how hard it'd be to get a shoe with this much 3M approved by the NBA. And it is a lot of 3M. This whole heel counter is covered in 3M, as well as these strips which I mentioned of 3M in this flywire-like arrangement on the side panels. And while the basketball version is called the performance and the QNTM is called the lifestyle version, I wouldn't say this is 100% correct. The only difference between the two is the removal of the 3M and the addition of a TPU cage on the basketball version on these side panels. The major change being cosmetic. So with everything else kept equal, I'd say the QNTM is just as capable of performance shoe as the basketball version. This move to make a performance version seems more like Adidas' way of appeasing the league than them wanting to make the same shoe twice. Overall, I really love what Adidas has done with this shoe. The Yeezy QNTM represents the Yeezy line's first foray into basketball, a segment that on a larger scale Adidas has worked really hard to penetrate, to no real avail. Basketball shoes just aren't worn casually as much, so footwear companies have started shifting away from style and fashion and more towards performance in this basketball segment. But the Yeezy QNTM represents an interesting combination, something that I personally have really missed, a basketball shoe that you want to wear casually. And that brings us to the end of this review. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more sneaker content, and I'll catch you on the next video.